Hi everyone, it's Tao and I'm back with another one. Today I'm bringing you my first official camera comparison video. This was between the Galaxy S9 Plus and the newly released Note 9. On paper, the Note 9 and S9 Plus have the exact same hardware. The Note 9 does, however, bring two new software features that is not available on the Galaxy S9 Plus. Number 1, Scene Optimizer. Samsung states that the Note 9 has an intelligent camera that recognizes anything that it's looking at, optimizing color settings like contrast, white balance, exposure, and more. 2, Flaw Detection. This alerts users if there's a flaw in a shot, such as a blurred image, a smudge on the screen, or if the subject was to blink during a shot. All these photos were taken in auto mode and handheld without the use of any other equipment. Disclaimer, I am not a skilled photographer by any means. Has Samsung improved the software camera on the Note 9? Are you getting the exact same experience on the Note 9 and S9 Plus? I'm here to find that out. Let's go! In good lighting, the photos are very similar, and unless you closely examine the photos in their full resolution, you won't notice the differences. The Note 9 seems to handle exposure better. For example, take a look at this picture of different colored peppers. The yellow hot peppers in the top left appear to be overexposed and lacking in detail compared to the Note 9. With Scene Optimizer on, you can see how it's trying to bring out the colors more. In this photo of a bouquet of flowers, the two images between the Note 9 and S9 Plus seem to be very similar. This is a good example of how the Scene Optimizer makes the colors in the photo appear more inky and vibrant. In this image of a rock by the water, the S9 Plus's photo comes up much darker than the Note 9. It also appears much cooler in temperature while the Note 9 more warm. I really like what the Scene Optimizer did with the photo. It created a happy medium between the two. This photo of a bridge on a bright sunny day looks very similar across the board. Once again, the S9 Plus's photo appeared much darker. The Scene Optimizer in this situation didn't seem to do that much other than make the clouds appear more white. Here's a photo of me taken under the sun. The only noticeable difference is that the colors in the Note 9's photograph is slightly more saturated than the S9 Plus. When Scene Optimizer was turned on, it did a great job exposing where the sun was beaming on my face. In indoor lighting, the S9 Plus seems to produce images that were cooler in temperature while the Note 9 warmer. In this scenario, I prefer the S9 Plus's picture as it captured the image that was more color accurate. Here are some more examples of this happening. In this particular photo of an ice cream truck, the Note 9's photo actually came out darker this time. The S9 Plus was able to retain more detail in the shadows, such as in the tires of the truck and the tree branches. Overall, I prefer the S9 Plus's photo in this one. When the Scene Optimizer kicks in, there's definitely an increase in contrast and the colors pop a lot more. Note that sometimes Scene Optimizer doesn't kick in because it's unable to recognize the subject. Bottom line, in good lighting, they both produce visually pleasing photographs, and you only notice the difference when you place the photos side by side. Moving on to low light photos. This first low light shot is of a home hardware storefront. A common theme you'll see in these photos is that the S9 Plus tends to overexpose light sources. In this scenario, the home hardware logo is much harder to read due to the blown out lights than on the Note 9, which is clearly visible. The Scene Optimizer did kick in for this photo, but I personally can't spot a difference. Moving on to a wall of graffiti outside of a restaurant. Once again, you'll notice right away that the lights are overexposed in the window of the S9 Plus's photo. The Note 9 was able to contain the lights and keep full detail of the restaurant's interior through the window. I was actually impressed by Scene Optimizer in this scenario, as it ended up being the most accurate representation of the actual scene in terms of color. This next photo is of another storefront in a rather dark side street. The first thing that stood out to me is that the color of the Metro logo on the S9 Plus was completely off, whereas the Note 9 was able to depict the dark red color of the logo perfectly. The Note 9 was also once again able to retain the detail inside the store windows, while the S9 Plus struggled. I found that in the many shots I took with both phones at night, the Note 9 did a much better job at capturing the more color accurate image. Here's another example. The art piece behind me was red in person, but the S9 Plus's photo came off as more of a salmon pink color. One interesting thing that I noticed with this picture, the S9 Plus was able to keep the details of the floor more sharp, while the Note 9 has more of an airbrush look to it. Moving on to this next photo, the same trends continue. The S9 Plus completely overexposes the light in the window to the point where you would think the entire window area was a light. The Note 9 keeps all the details, and I'm impressed with how well it contained the LED sign for the Psychic Reader. The last low light shot here is of a building. Besides keeping the detail on the bricks and surrounding area near the lights, the Note 9 also did a better job at keeping the fence in the foreground sharp and in focus. I also took a few live focus photos. Live focus essentially blurs out everything in the background except for your subject. The photo samples I took were all very similar between the S9 Plus and Note 9. I found that live focus can be hit or miss. On some occasions, I've had to shoot multiple shots to get the right blur effect. If you take your time and wait for the live focus ready prompt, it does work well. If selfies are important to you, here are some samples. There you have it, a quick camera comparison between Samsung's flagship devices for 2018, the Note 9 and S9 Plus. One thing I want to mention is that both the Note 9 and S9 Plus struggle with motion blur and auto mode. I guess it's good that Samsung has the flaw detection in the Note 9 to notify you of blurry pictures. The S9 Plus has a sports mode that can be used to capture quick moving subjects. Unfortunately, this is not available on the Note 9 yet. Did you notice any major differences between the two cameras? If so, which one do you prefer, the Note 9 or S9 Plus? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Until the next one, peace. Bye!